All right, all right. Look who's in the final. Obviously, welcome to the show, episode 7, and we are going to review the semifinal of the Euros, and obviously, we're going to preview the final of the Euros. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure if Aki will be joining us. He's a little bit busy with his schoolwork, but we do have a guest. Obviously, he's been in a lot of the shows already, and he is an England fan, so he gets to have his sort of insights on the England team. I'll have mine for the Spain team. But we'll first review the semi-final games before we preview the final. But let's introduce Eujin. How are you?
Tired. Yeah, it's been a long day. Work. All right. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
Let's see where the show brings us. Right.
Yeah, I mean, today we're only just going to review 2 games and then preview 1 game. So in total, we're really just talking about 3 games. But yeah,
we'll end the show in 15 minutes, all right? So
yeah, something like that, because there's only like a preview for like 1 game. So let me share my screen for the review and all, and we'll first start off with the first game of the semifinal, and that was Spain 2-1 victory over France. And if you remember, Eugene, from the last show with Ake, I said what happens if France goes behind in this tournament? And guess what? France went behind in the 25th minute and just never really showed much intent. Yeah, they had more shots than Spain, but they didn't really threaten Spain. But what are your thoughts on this semifinal? I don't know. If, I know the game was late, but maybe you catch the probably the star boy, the star of the show, and his goal. But what do you make of Spain v France?
Honestly, to tell the truth, right, I didn't wake up to watch that match. I barely woke up to watch the England game, but to me, it's the results, right? I was saying maybe France would bore Spain to death, or they went to penalties and France win. The French would win. In the end, this was more or less the expected results because, like I was saying, quality, you know, it was
Yeah,
all
I
about.
think I think the quality up front really helped out Spain in this game because Spain went 1-0 down 9 minutes in, and it looked like France were kind of like you can say controlling the game in the first like 10 minutes or so before Spain obviously got that goal from Lamine Yamal. I don't know if you watch the goal of Yamal like on the highlights view or whatever, but I would probably say maybe goal of the tournament, Lamal's goal against France. I mean, when I was watching it, I was like, oof. I was really surprised, but really happy, obviously.
Yeah.
In terms of Spain, we'll talk about Spain obviously in the preview more. But what do you make of France in this whole tournament now that they've been eliminated? What do you think of them like in this tournament?
I think France proved they had the quality, but they've not gelled well, right? And I think it's time for the Shams to actually step aside. I think maybe it's becoming stale. You understand?
Yeah,
Uh, France is a country that win things.
yeah.
They're not like Spurs. Sorry.
I mean,
Yeah,
what do you call this? Like France, obviously, for what the like before this Euros, France made it to 3 out of 4 finals.
yeah,
2016 Euros, 2018 World Cup, which they won, and then World Cup 2022. So 3 of the last 4 finals that France has competed in, and obviously that's going to be 3 out of 5 because they've been knocked out earlier this week by Spain. And another thing is that this is the first time that France has been eliminated or they lost a game in 90 minutes of a knockout stage game since the 2014 World Cup when they lost to Germany in the quarterfinal. So, I think I actually do agree with you with I think Deschamps. I think it has gone a bit stale. The fact that France only scored 4 goals this entire tournament. Even England, who had terrible football, scored what 3 more goals than France. So, and people say France has much more better attacking quality than England. We could say. So I do agree. I think Deschamps should leave, but I saw a report that Deschamps is going to stay for the World Cup if France obviously qualify, which I think they will. Do you
I
think?
don't know. Maybe the surprise might be that France don't qualify for the World Cup, and then Shams
Uh,
will have to leave. Now,
yeah, that would be a terrible,
yeah, if
terrible.
you leave a manager there long enough, right, and you have such good talented players, if you can get them to gel, you get results. But in the end, it's the ultimate result, winning something, right, in a tournament. Because whenever a country plays, there are only like how many major tournaments per decade or so, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
like
Yeah, so the trophies count. So, but hard to
five,
say,
five, five
right?
tournaments.
Yeah,
So
we
also I think like with Deschamps, he's been there as you said for like a long time. He's been there since when actually when France were eliminated at Euro 2012, coincidentally by Spain in that tournament.
yeah.
Um,
And to tell the truth, right? I think the French media are too polite. They should be demanding for Zidane now.
Yeah,
Right.
but
The
I
charm's
feel like,
out. The charm's out.
yeah, but I mean, I feel like I saw something like there's maybe like you can say nepotism or disputes as to why France don't just get Zidane or a better manager than Deschamps. So I don't really know because obviously we'll talk about England later about Southgate, but
And yeah. No,
with
Southgate
France,
has a plan, bro. I already told you, Southgate has a plan. That shit is his plan. Yes, yes, but we'll talk
yeah,
about that. Yes, right. But
yeah, but
I mean, for this game, right? Okay, fair. Spain won because Spain is, to tell the truth, right? They've looked amazing. They've been scoring goals like
yeah,
I don't know, yeah,
top
hitting it
goal
left, right,
scorer.
center, yeah, and they have the talent, the quality, right? Now is the thing is that Spain is through, France is out. Adios. Let's go to the next game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously as a Spain fan, because obviously I live in Spain, at full time, I was just at my place, but I heard fireworks, a couple of fireworks outside,
That's great.
some, maybe like teenagers out on the street, like celebrating and all that. So yeah, I think everyone in Spain, at least in my city, are obviously excited because for a lot of people, especially teenagers, they were too young to remember Spain winning, the Euros in 2012. So I think for
I think Spain
for
hasn't won anything in quite a long time, right? About
yeah, I mean,
two,
if you
two
want to
decades or so.
if you want to count the Nations League, because Spain won
No, we
the
don't count. Yeah, we don't count the Nations League. We're
yeah,
talking about
but yeah, the last time Spain were not only won a trophy but were in a final
oh, one
was
decade ago.
Euro 2012. So what, 12 years ago? And
Roughly.
I think everyone in Spain is hopeful now. I think everyone now believes that this team can go all the way. And another interesting fact is that Spain at this tournament become the first team to win 6 games consecutively.
Yep. So
So
the trend might have to break, right? So
yeah, so they already broken that record.
yeah.
So hopefully we'll talk about the final. But the before we talk about that, how about the other semi-final? Netherlands won, England two, so England back-to-back finals. What do you think of this game?
Uh, to be honest, guys, this game, right? I set the alarm clock at 3 a.m. It rang. I woke up. I turned it off. I fell back asleep again. But then I woke up again about 4:10 my time in the morning, and the
So
game
that
was
was
still on. Yeah,
yeah,
and when I pushed it on, it was already 1-1. So I was, yeah, it looked
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, and then I watched it. In the end, I just watched a bit of the highlights, right? Because it's very, very early for me in Malaysia. Yeah, so watch a bit of highlights. Yeah, yeah. It was according to the reports and all that. England put up a very good game in the first half, even though
yeah,
going down early. Then the contentious VAR call, penalty
yeah.
for
Because the
kicking.
penalty.
Yeah. The only
Um,
difference between France and England is that England has earned more penalties. So, guys, yeah, it's
yeah,
not
I think France only had one. England has had
3 or 2 or something like that. You're gonna
two or
say.
three or something like that. But yeah, I
What's Harry
mean,
Kane scored 3 goals already, Sensei?
yeah, he's joint top scorer. So
Yeah, and imagine
hopefully,
if he scores in the finals, 1 or 2 goals, right? He's already the golden boot
yeah, he's
winner.
the top scorer. Same thing with like Danny Olmo as well, because
Yeah, so
I think there's like
both of
six
them are great.
players that are
Yeah,
tied as the top goal scorer, and one of them is from Slovakia and Georgia. So I mean, I think the race for the top goal scorer, the Golden Ball, I think it's called, or Golden Boot,
yeah,
is
yeah.
is heating up, especially when England with Harry Kane and Spain with Danny Olmo, they're both in that 6 player list of top goal scorers. So if one of them scores, they're more likely to win that award. But since you said you watched the highlights, I don't know if you saw the.
I watched the highlights and I watched the last 40 minutes of the game.
All
Right.
right. So how was that last like 40 minutes?
The
Because
last 40 minutes, it was actually quite
boring.
hairy. No,
Yeah.
no, because the Dutch were more threatening. They looked more like they were going to score, right? And
Yeah.
like I told you, Southgate I think has got a plan this time in this tournament kind of scenarios, right? He's going out there to be pragmatic, and he knows he's got a attacking talent in his hands. Yes, just as long, right? If he can maintain the goal line at one,
Yeah, by
uh,
at least one goal.
yeah,
I
England has a
expect.
chance. And
Yeah,
I've been saying, guys, Southgate is letting the opposition teams, right, score early, and that motivates the English players
to
to
wake
try to
up.
score. Yep, to wake
Yeah,
up, and then it could be a psychological thing when the opposition scores one, they lie back, and then that's when
yeah,
England takes over a bit. But uh, he made very brave kind. I mean, to tell the truth, like this was more like tactical. He saw where the Dutch weakness was, and when he brought in Palmer
and
and
Watkins.
Watkins, that added speed into the whole dynamic because in that whole how many minutes, 80 minutes of the game or so,
Yeah,
the
Harry
Dutch
Kane
yeah,
didn't
they
really look.
were playing against speed. So those
Yeah,
guys were in gear in Hurricane speed. Then all of a sudden you get Palmer and Watkins coming on, and Watkins is like 2 times quicker than Hurricane, and they couldn't catch up. So, and to tell the truth, right, that is not an easy goal to score from
yeah,
Watkins. It was a brilliant goal because of the angle, the defender there. He just got the ball past the defender at the angle, not to put it out wide, but in between the posts.
just
So
crept into
kudos to
the
Watkins. Yeah,
to the
kudos to
post.
Watkins.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I got a very interesting take afterwards in the what called the preview, right?
yeah,
But kudos to England. I think it was the last show or the previous show. I said the last show. This is Southgate's plan. He has got it all psychologically tied up. I mean, he understands what's happening. But the only thing is that will be part of the preview, right?
yeah,
Coleman, couldn't outplay him.
yeah. I mean, what do you think of like with the Netherlands throughout this tournament? Because obviously they finished third place in their group, the one with Austria, France, and Poland. They finished third, and then obviously, unfortunately, beat Romania, and then they beat Turkey. So, what do you think this has been a successful tournament for Netherlands, even though like
I would
defensively they
say it's
haven't been
okay.
great?
To be fair, it's an average kind of thing, right? Reaching the
Yeah,
semifinals. I mean, to be successful means that you win the thing. Yes,
yeah,
success must equate a trophy. If success equates to a second place, a third place, or fourth place, right? Then success is that you already went to the Euro finals. You get
yeah.
me saying that? So it's pointless. So it's no success there. If I were the Dutch FA, whatever,
Get
woman
rid
out.
of Coleman. I still think,
Yeah,
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 because
yeah.
the fact that Deschamps, Coleman, and we'll see about Southgate.
Guys, it's going to be very easy, right? The Dutch FA just has to wait for another 6 months or so when Ten Hag gets sacked, then he can pick up the job.
Oh yeah, and hopefully Sven Botman will come back
Yeah,
fit after his ACL. Because I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think any of the Dutch defenders were really that great at the Euros. I know when Van de Ven comes on, he's done all right, but I think he should be starting. Even to be honest,
yeah.
even
That's why I'm saying, Woman for the defense, right? He should have found a way, right, to use Van de Ven instead
yeah,
of staying with his old back four and which has no speed and no,
yeah,
I know.
and
I think the age is the thing. I think what VDV is like 30, 31. Sorry, VVD is like 30, 31. The
yeah,
Vry is
something like
like
that.
what? Yeah,
Like
I don't know, 28, 29.
it was at the World Cup in Brazil, Divide. So that's
Yeah.
10 years ago. So definitely in his 30s. So that's why, if you remember, in the Qatar World Cup a year and a half ago, under Van Gaal, I think they played a three center backs. So like a Tottenham, like a Spurs sort of system, three at the back, but that
Yeah.
added more defensive solidity, even though the attack wasn't that great. With
Now, to tell you the truth, for the Dutch, right? They have a standard that they have to upkeep.
yeah,
The Cruyff kind of style
yeah,
and the
football,
open play kind of football, right?
which
So
to be honest, I haven't really seen from Netherlands since. If I'm
Koeman
going to
is
be
in the
honest,
what?
2010 World Cup.
Koeman can't play that ball. So as I
Yeah,
can see it, right, that is not, but
yeah,
they're more creative a bit. That's why I'm saying, let's see what levels they are. I mean, that we see that they're not at the level that they actually can break the English down.
yeah. I
Or
mean,
maybe
like,
the English defense was solid enough, but they
yeah,
did concede that one goal from who scored for France?
Xavi Simmons.
Oh, for the Netherlands, and that was scored early, right? 7
Yeah,
minutes.
and it was actually a really good goal as well because he stole it off of Declan Rice. In terms of like Netherlands, for me, the whole sort of like total football, the Dutch way of playing football. To be honest, I haven't seen Netherlands play like that
In a long time.
since 2010 World Cup, even 2008 Euros in Austria, Switzerland. Like it's been a long time since like I've been like wow by the Netherlands, because back in the day when they had Van Persie, Snyder,
Yeah.
Robin, who else? Van der Voort, former
Ber-
Spurs player,
Ber- well,
and
Bergkamp.
And even
No, no,
Bergkamp
no.
long
Was,
time ago.
was it
Like,
Bergkamp? Oh, sorry, Bergkamp is Swedish.
oh no, he's Dutch.
Oh,
Bergkamp, yeah. So like in terms of like the Dutch way, like the total football, like I wish maybe the Netherlands go back to that because now with Netherlands it feels like they want to
the,
be
the thing
defensively
is that I
strong.
think the problem, like I've been saying, I think the problem in football now is like I said it earlier, right? The creative side of football has disappeared, and
Yeah,
Dutch style was creative. You get what I'm
yeah,
saying?
total
Yeah.
football.
So total football, creative,
And
but now
now
it's so systematic, right?
it's
But
more
let's
like
see. Yeah, let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. I mean, I don't know if Coleman will keep his job with Netherlands. If I was a Netherlands fan, I wouldn't want Coleman for the World Cup because you just never know what if the Dutch don't qualify. Because it is, you can say difficult, but
No, it's
like,
happened before, guys.
yeah, it's happened very recently. And that's the fear I have with Netherlands heading into like the World Cup qualifying. I mean, we'll see who they get in their qualifying group because we don't know yet. But
Oh, the draw is not out yet. Oh, the European side hasn't played yet, right? Okay.
yeah, not yet, but they'll do the qualifying draw, like who's with playing who and all that in like December of this year, like finding out who's with who. So we don't know about that yet, but if I was a Netherlands fan, I wouldn't want Ronald Koeman to be the manager heading into that
But
qualifier.
okay, I'll give a question, right? If not Coleman, then who? Who's available? That's a big question, right? And I don't see any talented Dutch
That's available,
coach out
yeah.
there.
I
Yeah.
mean, obviously
Oh,
you can say
unless you're brave
and
like Spain. What Spain did was very brilliant because they brought up the under-21 coach up,
yeah,
right?
because
So
but
yeah,
at the same time, at least like we'll talk about Spain. He won the U19 or U17 Euros with
he's
that
one, I
Spain
think.
team, and then he won
17.
the U20,
Yeah,
21 with Spain, brought Spain to the Tokyo Olympics silver
yeah.
medal, so one game away from winning gold, and then obviously now with the national team in the final. Whereas with Netherlands, I feel like I'm pretty sure they're all good coaches, but I don't know if there's any that are available
But
because
then also, you have to look at the talent too, right? What kind of talent do they have out there, right?
yeah,
And everybody gets so excited when Wake Horse comes on.
obviously,
Come on, that shows the levels. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Because
Sorry to say that,
to be
but
honest,
players like Simmons and all that, good
came
talented
on,
players, yeah. And then you got Van Dijk and all that, but they're all getting old. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But like I
I
said,
I just feel like the Netherlands team hope for their sake, maybe for Ake he might have a different view. I don't want this like semi-final one for the Netherlands to kind of like paper over the cracks of how you can say how poor Netherlands were at times in this tournament. Like, remember when we watched the Poland game, they conceded early. Remember Poland were 1-0 up, and then in the game against Turkey in the quarterfinal, went 1-0 down. So for me, I don't know about this Netherlands team heading into the next year or two because I don't. I can see them being one of those teams that could be like a surprise team that misses out on the World Cup if they don't like get the personnel right. Because I feel like you have to start Van de Ven, you have to start, you know, some of these better players like Memphis Depay.
Now
He
you need
shouldn't
some.
be playing.
No, you need, come on, the pie. Yes, yes, so you need to
Yeah,
find. Wait,
Depay,
you need to find
like the
some
Van Persie,
younger talents to come up. Yes, you know.
yeah.
So
Which I mean, I'm pretty sure, like with Ajax's academy, obviously, and PSV and all that, I'm pretty sure there will be talent for the Netherlands team, but it's whether they can bring them up for the national team. But we'll see. Well, but enough about the Netherlands. In terms of England in this game, I was pleasantly surprised with that first half, despite going a one goal down. But I feel like the penalty, I didn't think it was a penalty because when I think Harry Kane hit the ball, he then hit
follow
Dumfries
through. Yeah.
a follow through. And I mean, what should Dumfries do in that situation? To be honest, because
No, that's
Dumfries,
that's the risk you take. You get what I'm saying? No? When you put
yeah,
in a tackle, that's the risk you take. And then it's a 50-50 call. Maybe in another day, another ref looks at it and says, no, it's not because Hurricane really kicked the ball away, but the legs were high. The feet, I mean, the feet was high,
yeah,
right? So, yeah. No, it's a block, but it is what it is. Yes, you know. And
yeah,
if you are really a good team, that shouldn't hinder you of actually getting one or two more. This
yeah,
is a game of football. Objective is to put the ball behind the net. The more times you put the ball behind the net, you get a point. You more points on the board. So it
yeah,
is what it is.
yeah. I mean, now we're about to look ahead to the final, and we finally have the two teams in the final. Spain versus England. Obviously, you're representing England, and I'll represent Spain. But what are your thoughts on this game? Obviously, in terms of men's football at the senior level, this is the first time Spain and England have met in a final. But if you want to look back on very recent history, the Women's World Cup was Spain versus England. Spain won. But then you can also look a couple months before that, England beat Spain in I think it was the U21 Euros. So there is a bit of like, you can say generational or, just sporting context, history between Spain and England, especially in the past year. And now they both meet in the final. But what are your thoughts on this final in general?
Okay, to me, I'll just be honest, right? Somehow or another, I haven't actually paid attention much to the Spanish team. I don't know why, right? Maybe because everybody's saying they're so good and the
Yeah,
talent is such, I mean, everything's so positive. So I decided maybe, nah, let's not watch them, So I can't put an opinion on it, but as I think, right, if you say the quality, the understanding, the style of play, everything's positive for Spain now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
And,
think,
and don't forget, right? They look very creative too. You know,
yeah,
with
especially,
they've got the
going,
wonder kid there. Because and I don't want to say his name because I always mix the L with Y. Which is it first? Is
oh,
it
Jamal.
okay? So it's Lamine Yamal,
Yeah,
not Yamin Lamal.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
it sounds similar, yeah.
yeah,
Lamine Yamal. But
yeah.
I
Yamin
mean,
Yamal.
well, actually, tomorrow is his birthday, his
Oh,
17th birthday, and
17.
today is Nico Williams' 22nd birthday.
Yeah.
But the fact that Jamal tomorrow is his 17th birthday, like at 17, do you ever think a 16, 17-year old would be this good, especially at,
Uh,
at this?
honestly, the truth, right? At the international level, he's doing so well. Club level with Barcelona, they still haven't won anything with him yet. So let's see,
yeah.
maybe next year he will turn up and
Yeah,
don't forget football is still
and
team game. But he's one of those prodigy at the moment. I guess he will be called the next generational talent coming up, right, to fill the gaps of Messi and Ronaldo, right? Because at the moment Mbappe has gone missing, right? Harry
yeah,
Kane is on his way out, right? Then of course from the England side you've got talents like Cole Palmer, Ollie Watkins, but Ollie Watkins is not young; he's 28,
yeah.
right?
So
So.
he's not that young.
But
Or
then we got Phil
Anthony
Foden,
Gordon.
Jude Bellingham, right? So all the youngsters are stepping up.
Yeah,
So don't forget what's it, Kobe Mainu? Yeah, he's the
yeah.
other one.
He was really good
Yeah,
for
he's
England.
19. Yeah. But what call it? Is it Yamin Lamar or is it the other way around?
Man, I think it's I obviously
Now you're confused.
so
Yeah.
but like at 16, 17, have you seen a player be that good or be
Actually,
so
I've watched him.
influential at that
Yeah,
age?
yeah. I've not watched much of him, but no, yeah. He's proving to be one because he's even scored a goal, right? You said the goal against the French was a good goal,
Yeah, against the best, you can say the
one of
best
the
defense
best in the
in the
tournament.
tournament, and actually one of the best goalkeepers as well, Mike Manyan in that
Yeah.
semifinal. But for me,
I
it's
think
like,
if you talk about now who's the better goalkeeper, I'll still pick Pickford because he saved a lot of penalties.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, with Yamal, the fact that he's like, well, tomorrow he'll be 17. He's what is it, like 9 years younger than me? Because I'm 25, almost 26 in October. I'm like, I feel so old. At 16, 17, I was what? I was probably just at school doing maths and English classes and just studying. And then your mom is going, in a semifinal of the Euros at what I was when I was like 16, 17. So I'm like I said Lamal can be the best young player of the tournament, but you can
Yeah.
argue he could be player of the tournament, not just young player, but even player of the tournament.
Yeah,
'Cause-
but usually the player of the tournament will be the guy who scores the winning goal for the finals.
yeah, hopefully.
Harry Kane, woohoo, penalty.
Ends
Yeah.
like 1-0 to England because of that penalty.
Oh no,
But
no, no! I'm going to be deluded again. Woohoo! That's enough. It's going to be 4-2 England, right?
I
But
mean,
guys, to tell the truth, right? To be serious, right? My only worry now is right. The English team has to focus on this game because there are some statements coming out from Ollie Watkins saying that the last Euros are firmly on our minds. Guys, you can remember about the last Euros, forget about it. Think about this Euros coming up, right? Don't think
yeah,
about the last Euros, right? But we should have enough young players inside there, right? Who I mean, can remember about the last Euros, but don't have to have it on their mind because they weren't in that team. So
yeah.
Watkins was in the team, but that shouldn't be the part, right? If that happens, then it'll be the other way around. Woohoo! Spain 4-2.
I mean, for me, ahead of this game, I don't know what most, let's say, Spanish people are thinking, but I think most Spanish people can say they're, I wouldn't say overconfident, but
Ted,
they have belief.
let's be honest, right? The Spanish are the favorites, right?
Yeah,
The English are boring, right? And Spain, if they get it right, they're gonna run circles around the English. You
yeah,
get what I'm
which
saying?
I obviously hope happens because
Yeah, which I think if the Spanish, I don't know, will Southgate sit back and attack, and that will give I don't know, will Southgate be brave, start Ollie
yeah.
Watkins or something like that. In a sense,
Do you think?
or or Southgate will go back to the same old plan. He will play that same
And
11 guys, right? That played against Holland, right? Dull the game down, let Spain score one goal, and they think, whoo, we're in the lead, and then he falls into the trap, and then you know,
I mean, I
and then
could see that
England will,
happening.
and then England, would drag it on until the 90th, 80th minute and score one. And then
An
all of a
extra
sudden,
time.
the Spanish will have to wake up and then they will attack again. And then this time they'll be tired. Number one, the defenders will be tired and all that. And Southgate will bring on his super sub, whether he needs a Tony kind of striker or a Watkins kind of striker. So
Yeah, I mean that can be a possibility.
Yeah.
I think like with
Yeah.
with this game, let's say how it would play out. Let's say, as you said, if Spain take the lead 1-0, then I do think the England players will wake up and play a little bit more. But the only difference is between England from the past games against Netherlands, Switzerland, Slovakia, when England went behind in those games. The thing is that England, player for player or quality, I would say in the England team, player for player, have more quality over the teams of like Slovakia, Switzerland, Netherlands. Whereas I think if you compare England and Spain in terms of starting 11s, I do think it's quite even, the starting 11s. So this is I would say a different battle if, let's say, Spain goes ahead in this game. I mean, I do think England will obviously pose a challenge for Spain, obviously, because if England sit back and concede one and still sit back, then I don't really see
Oh
much.
no! If that happens, right, then the
Then
Spanish will run riot.
yeah,
But that isn't Southgate's plan. Southgate's plan is like that. He knows he's got that attacking talent there.
yeah,
He's like hiding it under his sleeve. It's like the ace under the sleeve kind of thing, right?
yeah,
And he'll pretend to be the wounded animal, right, being hunted down, right? And when he turns his head later, then he bites back.
yeah,
But or the other way could go wrong. The other scenario could be like this, guys. Spanish will score one, and then there'll be a ding dong back and forth. You get what I'm saying? And let's see whether that ding dong back and forth lasts a long time, because that will suit Southgate's plan. Because as it drags on, right, it falls into his plan. But if Spain can get two quick goals, right, then that will be the test, because England has never been 2 goals down.
yeah. Do you think, let's say it does go 2 goals down, or 2-0 or 3-1, whatever it is? Do you think do you think England would come back from a 2-goal deficit? Or do you think it'd be too much?
Yeah, this is going to be creativity against the system, the systematic. If the systematic works, then the creativity can't break it. Then England will win, right? But if it's the other way around, then it will be a very nice game to watch. It could be a ding dong, like I said, woohoo, 4-2 Spain.
Maybe. I mean, for me, as long as in the end the result Spain wins, I don't really mind how the game is played, or whether it's fun or boring or whatever. But I think if England at any point in this game go 2 goals down, depending on the time of the game, because let's say if Spain has a 2-goal lead before halftime, I could in a way just see a way England can come back, but it'll have to be probably England's best ever performance. If
No, but England comes back to 2-2, right?
Yeah,
The Spanish will still have their chance to score more too.
yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like England, because do you remember at the World Cup, France? Argentina had a 2-goal lead against France, and France weren't that great until Mbappe showed up, scored a penalty, and then scored a good goal, a brilliant goal. Like a couple minutes later, what the game
I know. That is the loss of concentration of the squad. I mean, of the Argentinian team. Yes.
Yeah. Do you think would something similar like that happens? Like, let's say Spain goes 2-0 up.
I don't see that happening.
So,
but the way Southgate has been playing, he's been like the ultra Mourinho kind of style, right? Bore you to death, right? For a long period of time, until I think when they started to pick up a bit of momentum and we were playing against Switzerland, right? Then the Dutch. So now, or it could turn it the other way around. If Southgate will play a 3-5-2, right? And either put Tony and Watkins in front or
Kane
Watkins
and
and
Watkins,
Kane and
maybe,
Watkins, right?
or Tony. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
but
that.
come on, guys, don't fool yourself. Southgate ain't gonna do that. He's gonna stick to the try and test it, right?
Yeah, I do expect the lineups to be, you can kind of say, straightforward. Like with England, I think it will be the same team that play against Netherlands. So that would be with Foden and Bellingham being like in behind Harry Kane. I do think Harry Kane does start because one, he's the captain,
Well, let's
and
go. The what? 3-2.
I think it's like 3-4-2-1,
Three,
and
four,
then
two, one.
the sort of, you can say, midfielders in behind Bellingham and Foden, or I would expect it to be Rice and Mainu. I would think so. But
Obviously, that's just the 5-4-1.
yeah, basically you can kind of say that with like Foden and Bellingham being a little bit more advanced. But in terms of, like, let's say for Spain, obviously in the game against France had to play Jesus Navas and Nacho. I do think Carvajal, who was suspended, I think he comes
Oh,
back.
he's back, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, there's no suspensions for either team
Yeah.
heading into the game. The only like miss, I would say, is just Pedri is injured and won't play. So in terms of the Spain team, I do expect Carvajal to come back at right back, and between Nacho or Lenormand, because to be honest, I think Nacho has done well.
Carvajal plays for
Real Madrid.
Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Yeah. And obviously, he has now the experience of winning a trophy very recently and actually scored in that final in the Champions League.
Oh, yeah, don't forget, guys, Jude Bellingham is going to meet a lot of his colleagues.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just like one or two of them.
No, I mean, he's played a lot of these players, right? Because they all play in the same Spanish league.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I think
maybe you have some secrets there.
maybe, but I think between Lenormand, who was suspended, or Nacho, I think Lenormand will come back into the team. That's why I suspect Luis de la Fuente will do for this final. I think it will
But
be
Rodri, is Rodri in the midfield for you guys?
yeah. I would expect it to be Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, and Dani Olmo to be the midfield for Spain. And ever since Dani Olmo has come into the team, like almost every game so far in this tournament, Dani Olmo has either scored a goal or assisted a goal whenever he's played in this tournament. So hopefully that streak continues for Dani Olmo in this game. And in terms of the front three, it will be Yamal, Nico Williams, and Alvaro Morata. And I saw a report that this could be Morata's last ever international tournament with Spain, just probably because of the media and all that. Saying that Morata, to be honest, hasn't had a brilliant tournament because he only scored one goal. But to be honest, I think Morata, despite not scoring, apart from one goal in this tournament, I think Morata has done all right in this tournament. And I think that's because he has been able to link up with players like Nico Williams, like Lamine Yamal, because those are more of the attacking threat, whereas Morata, he's been able to find space, even though he, in the end, doesn't score. But, I think Morata in this tournament, he is the captain, actually. Um, you know, for me, I look, I don't really mind if Morata scores or not as long as Spain win, but I think it's a final, and if people or the reports are saying this could be Morata's last ever like major tournament with Spain, or at least like he'll be away from the national team regardless of what happens from this final. I think if he really wants to turn up and show up, then he'll have to be in the final as the captain. But
yeah, but
I think
you already said it, right? It's going to be a 3 a.m. game for me again. Let's hope this time I can wake up properly and watch the final.
yeah, Sunday or Monday early morning.
Early mornings for me is Monday, right?
Yeah,
The school will work the next day. But honestly, guys, it's been an overall quite interesting tournament to see these two teams at this juncture, because everybody's sort of saying Spain had to go through a harder route. They had to play the hosts, right? And then they had to play France, okay? And they've actually come up quite impressive. You see.
In both games. Yeah, even though I guess you and Aki have said, oh, but Germany has this or France has this. I'm so at least for now, like Spain, obviously I think Spain are the favorites, but in a final you just never know, because I feel like
you never know, right? And England bought the shit out of us all the way through.
Yeah, like maybe now this is the time England turn up. You just never know.
But honestly, to tell the truth, right? How can England turn up? Will Southgate change his tactics to make England turn up, right? Or will Southgate stick to the plan that's brought him all this way here? But we never know what Southgate will do, right? And of course, even now we got Mark Gahey back too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I think like an interesting battle is the midfield, as there's Declan Rice, Kobe Mainoo, and then in a way you can say Bellingham and Foden in a way, but that midfield against Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, and Dani Olmo is going to be a really interesting.
Guys, it's going to be simple, right? If it's going to be 2 against 3, right?
Especially that Spain midfield. That's why.
Because will Foden fall back to try to help the midfield? But the sad part about this type of games is the game nullifies the English team gets nullified because why? Harry Kane will always fall back to try to help out the midfield. Or try to get the ball, or try to be creative.
So, but then also at the same time, if let's say Harry Kane drops back, who's going to be in the box?
Then you have to rely on the Bellingham or Foden. But like I'm saying, if Southgate becomes brave, right, and plays the 3-5-2, we clear the back and just to
who would Southgate drop? I would think he would drop.
He won't drop anyone. I think he won't drop anyone. He will keep. Who will be? Who will he keep? He will have at the back 3 will be Walker,
Gahey,
Stones, right? Then on your wings, you either go the right side, you go with Trent, right? Left side with Luke Shaw.
I think in the previous game it was Trippier at left back and
Shaw is back, right?
Yeah.
But the problem comes now is the midfield. Because you have Foden and Bellingham, he has to fit
both of them.
No, that's the problem. If he's brave enough, he'll put one of them. Mainoo and Rice will still be the midfielders, right? Is it Mainoo or Rice?
Yeah. I would. Okay, now thinking about it, I would, if I was Southgate.
And either use Bellingham, right, as a number 10 kind of thing, and then you have 2 number 9s in front, Watkins
and one of them can drop that back, which is obviously going to be Kane.
And whenever Kane drops, Kane always drops back to help. Whenever Kane drops back to help, you still have Watkins with the speed in front. And Watkins might even turn out to be Kane's son.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like
with that Southgate.
I think.
But Southgate won't do that. Southgate will go back to his old boring 4-4-2.
I mean, to be honest, I would be
4-1-1. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I would be, to be honest, kind of surprised if the starting 11 from the Netherlands game for England changes. I don't think there will be any changes. The only changes from Spain, as I said, would just be Carvajal and Lemar come back because they were suspended in the previous game for Nacho and Navas. But I do think if the midfield battle between Spain and England, if Spain's midfield, you can say, cooks in this final, I think Spain are more likely to win the final if Spain's midfield performs better than England's midfield. That's what I would say because you have Rodri, you have Fabian Ruiz, and you have Dani Olmo, and each of them have like been, in a way, you can say clutch, but they've also been very good in this tournament as well, and all of them have scored a goal as well so far, and actually all of them were in the knockout stage. Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, and Dani Olmo. So I
Okay,
think
what's your prediction then?
I feel like I don't think this game will be like, to be honest, entertaining. I will say that. If it is, then yay, but I don't think so. I think it will be a 1 goal margin win. I don't think it goes to penalties, but I could see this going to extra time and one of these teams winning. I think obviously for the bias and all that, I would say Spain win. Maybe something like 1-0 or 2-1. I have that sort of feeling. But at the same time, I can see it the other way around, like 2-1 for England after extra time, something like that.
All right,
So
Ted, just say that, right? Your heart wants Spain to win, right? It doesn't
yeah,
matter what the score is, but you have this fear that England might just sneak it through, right?
yeah, that's what I think. I
Yeah,
do
you know
think,
why? Because to tell the truth, right, my feeling is, right, I see the quality in Spain, right? I expect Spain to win, but I'm an England fan,
yeah.
so I got this like funny feeling. Hey, yeah, Southgate's got you.
I mean, we'll see on Sunday.
And then Southgate will tell all the English fans, right?
One more, we've won. But I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, I think as a score prediction, I would say just 1-0. I could see it just being like that, like Spain score like in the first half and then just see it out, that sort of thing, and then maybe England's quality or luck, you can say, runs out, something like that. Um, that's what I kind of see in this game. 1-0 or 2-1 for either team, to be honest, but I'll say 1-0 Spain. That's like my final prediction for this final.
I keep saying, woohoo, England 4-2. Harry Kane hat-trick.
Harry Kane golden boot.
That's the deliberate England fan in me, because we're all the way in the final, right? It's coming home. It's coming home.
What do you think the reaction would be if England wins the Euros?
First of all, Keir Starmer is going to announce it's a public holiday for all English fans, right? We are so proud of the team.
Knighthood, sir, and then we have to
And
call.
you will have to say, Sir Gareth Southgate.
Sir,
and please call him Sir, right? And Southgate was an interview and said, please call me Sir.
Sir, who's that? Sir Harold Kane.
Yeah.
OBE or MBE, or I don't really know the titles, but
yeah. But guys, to be serious, right? If England win, right, it will be a break of 58 years not winning a major trophy. So of course, all the English fans will be happy, right? Me being an England fan, right, and a Spurs fan, and maybe next year we're challenging for the title. Look what Southgate did.
On.
Still so deluded. Yeah. Wake up, boy.
What if, and then the other way around, what if England ends up losing this final?
Oh, then if you don't look at what Southgate did, right? You couldn't get a generational talent. You got Harry Kane, the Golden Boot winner. You can't score goals. You can't score goals, and you can't still win trophies. Southgate out.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, if Spain win, obviously it'll be great. I mean, it ends our 12-year, probably not as long as England's trophy
Right,
drought,
guys, 58 years, right? So, yeah.
but I
Now, like
think
I said, this is going to be a game of between creativity and talent. Creativity, talent against,
the
the
system.
systematic way, bore you to death shit kind of game. That's what I see from Southgate, but I'm still waiting for him to surprise me, right? I
Yeah,
said
and
before, being England fan, I want England to win, right? But guys, don't worry, we'll be back soon again to review this, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and hopefully Ake will join us the next time.
yeah. I think he said he can join us for the final show because
Yeah.
obviously there's one game to review and no previews. But yeah, I think that's all for the semi-final review and the final preview of Spain versus England. Obviously, I'm not doing a watch along because I'm going to go out. I'm going to enjoy
Oh
the
yeah, you said
final.
you're gonna go out enjoying the, people in the pub or somewhere to enjoy the
Yeah,
football game. Hey, have a good experience, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, they're planning to have like a big screen in the city
just
center.
don't get too drunk and not remember what you did the previous day. It's the kind of
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. I'll make sure. But yeah, I'm thinking of doing a vlog
Oh
for
yeah.
basically the whole day. So hopefully, if Spain does win, then I'll be quite happy editing that vlog. But if Spain ends up not winning, then it'll be a little bit unfortunate. But I'll post it after I get over after my cry.
Don't be
um,
too sad, right? You've just not won it for about 12 years. Add another 2 years to it. Another 14 years. And wait for the 2026 World Cup, right? English
yeah,
fans, if we don't win it, right, we have to wait for another 60 years. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
been
it'll be
60 years
60
to get the
years
2026
at that
World Cup.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it for today's show, the second to last show. In terms of the next show, planning to do it on Monday around this time. I don't know, Eugene, if you're available Monday at around this time that we started, 11
Just,
o'clock, I
just,
think.
just let me send me a message by then, right? So I'll let you know.
Yeah,
I'll
on
be working
Monday,
on it.
Monday night, basically. So, and that'll be obviously the day after.
Monday night, my time here, in Malaysia.
Yeah, Monday night around the same time, 11 o'clock for you. But yeah, anything you want to add in, plug?
Oh yeah, guys, you can find me on Spurs Vision TV if you're watching this after, in the recorded version, right? And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Ten's channel, right? My channel, give a like, right? And come on, England and DVM.
Yeah, and Viva España. Oh, there. Hopefully. Vamos Spain. And stream.
Okay,
So
guys.
take care.